Red Death is the first main villain of the first season of The Flash. We saw her in 901. We saw her a few times in the season 9 trailer. I think 2 or 3 times. So this could be our 3rd or 4th time seeing Red Death in the show. 902 will feature Red Death. I don't think she's going to play a big role. Based on the description we got, just because she might appear once or twice. But, we know that the Fiddler will be in this episode alongside Hartley. And the Fiddler is undoubtedly working with Red Death. So she's going to, again, play a role. It's just how big of a role, we don't entirely know. Since 902 seems very much like a filler in a way. Like 901 kind of was. Like, it didn't really set up anything besides Barry being on the face of Nuke and Barry and Iris being in sync and all that, which is fun, but it didn't really set up a story the first graphic novel this season. 902 will probably be like that, with just like 2 scenes of Red Death and that's it. The main focus will be Frost. And from what it looks like, Jones and Cecile will play a role, and Allegra and Chester will play a role. So it's going to be a whole thing for, this episode. But in the little that we got of Red Death in 901, she knows she sent Captain Boomerang after the Flash for whatever reason. I'm sure we'll find out, hopefully. But she said that the Flash is never truly alone, but when I'm done with him, he will be. So this makes me wonder if either A, she's going to try to take everyone away from Barry, like turn them evil, or B, kill them all. Which will lead to the timeline changing and then Barry changing the timeline again to bring everyone back and all that. Could be how, if Caitlin does come back, like the actual Caitlin, could be how she comes back, or Frost, like the actual Frost. Because we do know that in 902, we learned this today, that Caitlin in 902 would be called Snow. If that rings any bells for you, that's a nickname that Harry would call Caitlin Snow. Not really a nickname, because Harry called everyone by their last name besides Cisco. Well, sometimes Cisco. But like when he would be talking to Barry, he called him Alan. Talking to Joe or Iris, he called him West or West Allen. Wally, West, all that. Sometimes, again, Cisco would be kind of 50-50. Ramon or Cisco. When it's the emotional scene, he'd be called Cisco by Harry. But I don't know what they're going for here, if they're trying to reminisce Harry being in the show or what. But that's the first thing I thought of when they said that Caitlin's new character, Daniel Panabaker's new character, will be called Snow in the first time we see her in 902. So, but why does Red Death hate Barry so much? It's going to be a whole thing of how is it played out. And we know it's not going to be played out like it was in the comics, which is depressing. I'm not surprised, but I was hoping it would take some aspects, like the Dark Multiverse and all that. We're not doing that. So this Red Death could be a future timeline of Ryan Water that, for whatever reason, went rogue, became a speedster somehow, and, because we do know that one of the main scenes for Red Death will be an emotional scene with Iris. Yeah. I'm not surprised, because it is Ryan Wilder, and she and Iris do have, like, a really tight friendship. They had one in Armageddon. They undoubtedly have one post-Armageddon. So, that's not surprising. It's just, I would still like Barry to play a role in that. But, maybe it'll work out. I'm pretty sure that's in 903. That or 904. Could be in 905, but I'd be a little bit surprised if it was in 902, because I don't think we're going to be introduced to Red Death till probably, like, the beginning of 903, somewhere around there. Because we do know in 903 that Barry's tied up. It's from what it looks like. Probably 903 would be the best bet. Is that Red Death will appear in 903. And then 904, obviously, we're going into Red Death Part 1, The Mask of Red Death Part 1, and the finale of Red Death in 905. And then 906, I'm assuming 909 are all interludes, and then 910 is, the last 7 out of the season, the series, sorry. And then 911, 912, 913. Again, we don't know much about her, right? If this is Armageddon, we would have already had a fight between Barry and Red Death. So, for me, this graphic novel is now off to the best start. Because we've only seen the main villain once. But I get what they're doing because they're setting up a rogues gallery to fight Barry. And, that's going to be happening in 903. But they could have easily done that in 901 or 902 even. We're just not going to happen in 902 because it's all about Barry and Caitlin. Or the new character for Caitlin. So it's a whole thing of, how well will Red Death play a role in 902 and 903, I mean, that's going to be a big thing. Especially how big the rogues gallery will play because they are being controlled by Red Death. Also, if Red Death will kill any of them, which I'd be just surprised if she doesn't. I'd be depressed if she didn't because she has death in her name, and if she doesn't kill anyone, it'd be a little, it wouldn't feel right if she didn't kill anyone. So I would hope that she would. Even if someone on Team Flash, I don't really care. Just kill someone. And also Red Death threatening to leave the Flash with no allies. Play that through. Don't, just change your plan because it gets foiled. Every villain on this show, even like season 1, Thawne, I mean, his plans got foiled. He came up with another one to destroy Barry's life. That's Thawne. Zoom did the same. Savitar was just all over the place. DeVoe, I mean, he had like 20 different plans piled into one. Cicada was a mess. Bloodwork was good. He had a good plan, good, way to actually do something to Barry here. Since 7, we had the Forces and wrapping up with Ava, which is a mess, and Godspeed, again, a mess, kind of. And then Despero and Deathstorm, I mean, those two were very powerful that, worked for Barry. Thawne, again, which worked, in my eyes. And now we're dealing with Rogues and Red Death, which, yeah, it's amazing, but again, 901, it set that up, but it could have easily escalated to a full-on story arc being introduced, not just little side plots. And rewatching 901 premiere, the season 9 premiere, that's another problem for the premiere for me, is that it didn't set up anything huge. Besides Red Death working with Captain Boomerang. That's it. We don't know if, Captain Boomerang is hiring the other metas, like the Fiddler, OG Rainbow Raider, or if Red Death is doing that, or what. I mean, we don't know much here. So, we know that OG Rainbow Raider is working with Red Death, but my point is that, is she trying to control all of them? Or are they willingly working with her to take down the Flash? That's a whole thing. And we don't know. We're probably not going to know until 905. Because we're too focused on side plots right now. We really shouldn't be. We need to be focused on the main plot, which is Red Death. For the first 5 episodes of the season. But who knows? It's going to be a whole thing. I would like it to play out as in, what we're dealing with is Barry and Red Death have a big fight. Like a speedster fight. Like an OG one. Because everyone's not going to... No one will stop complaining about the speedster fights in this show till we get a legit speedster fight. It's either with Red Death or Cobalt Blue. That's the only 2 ways that can happen. So when they make Cobalt Blue a speedster in this show, which I'd be jolly surprised if they don't. Or if they bring Thawne back. That's another whole thing to look at. But, I think there's a reason why Red Death hates the Flash. Now, point out, she didn't say Barry. I don't know if she knows that Barry's the Flash or, but if she doesn't know that Barry's the Flash, she could be referring to her world's Flash. Whoever that may be. It could be Iris, it could be Jesse Quick, could be anyone that's not Barry, and she's just going after the Flash of this world, which is Barry, just to spite vengeance on this world's most powerful hero, take him down, the world's for the taking, and there you go. We don't know much. All we know is that she just showed up with Captain Boomerang and gave him a bunch of boomerangs. She's leveling him up. So there's going to be a reason. There better be a damn good one why Red Death hates Barry. And I really want to know her origin. That's going to be the one big thing for me, this graphic novel. Will Red Death's origin be explored? I'm not saying it won't be shown on screen, because it probably won't. But will we hear about it? That's what I want to see, and at least hear from Red Death. Why she hates Barry, why she's here, where she came from. Is she from 2049? Is she from a few centuries from now? Is she from Armageddon timeline, the reverse Flashpoint? Is she from our Earth? Is she from, anything? I want to know that. This character would not work if we don't do that. So they have to fit that in. And they should know that. But it's going to be a whole big, probably messy thing. Hopefully it's a good messy and not a, vomit messy. It shouldn't be that way in this season. But I have to see how 902 works out. I'm excited for 902 because of the Kalen stuff. I'm actually really interested in it now. So I would like to see where that goes. But the Red Death is the main villain the first five episodes, or she's supposed to be. There the rogues are, I guess, for 901, 2, and 3, and then 904 and 5, she becomes the main villain. I guess it's Cicada was the main villain for several episodes since Cicada 2 came in, and now say Thawne, who's technically the main villain in season 5. But my point is that we went from, one big bad connecting it to another big bad. They could try to pull that off here with the rogues, being set up by Red Death, bringing all them in to fight the Flash. He defeats them all. Maybe she kills them all, so he doesn't have to deal with them anymore. And then comes in and takes out Barry. Or try to fight him at least, But that's the whole thing for me where the origin story is most important for me. Because it'll explain why she hates Barry, or the Flash, I should say. And it'll explain why she's here. Because we don't know. And I really want to know. It's annoying. We should already, know this. If this was, again, the Armageddon, story arc, the way it was set up, we would already know a lot about Red Death. We wouldn't know everything, but we know damn well a lot. In 801, we knew why Despero wanted to stop the Flash. It's because he destroyed the world. Right? In 901, all we know is that Captain Boomerang ran after the Flash, and Red Death and he's working for Red Death. And that she hates the Flash. That's it. And don't get me wrong, it was a great episode, a great premiere, but for a graphic novel, it was a weak opener. We're supposed to deal with Red Death and the Rogues. We got one rogue, one scene of Red Death. I hope 902 is better than that, because if the Fiddler is a role, she's gonna probably have to be, then Red Death will play a role in it. Because that's the only way I can really see it fitting into the episode. So, it all depends how it plays out. I hope it plays out well. If it does, great. I'm here for it. Even if it doesn't, I'm here for it. I'm ready to see Red Death fight Barry, and I hope to God there's a fight between Barry and Red Death. I don't care if it's like a few punches thrown. I want to see a full-on fight with our Barry, the one that just faced a nuke explosion across an entire city, the one that generated 3 lightning bolts that could depower a nuke, kind of ironic if you think about it, and also the guy that run his own lightning, and fought a guy who can rival Kryptonians in one season. I would like that Barry to fight Red Death. That would be amazing. I mean, it'd be so cool to get, and it'd be an amazing fight sequence, too. Because, I mean, Red Death is either equally powerful to Barry, or just a little bit more powerful. It would still be cool to see nonetheless. So, it's... I keep saying this over and over and over, but it's a whole thing of how will it play out? Will it play out the way we all want it to? And, again, most importantly, how will it play out? That is the entire thing. And it's going to debate how we all look at Red Death and the graphic novel, this whole graphic novel of the final season, and how, it's shaping the final season itself. If Red Death isn't in 902 that much, then, I would suggest that when we get the Cobalt Blue, or the Night Wars Avatar, whatever the hell that is, it probably won't be Eddie if they're going down that route. Because, as a matter of fact, we're spending so much time on the Rogues, very little for Red Death. When we get to Eddie, he might even be the big bad. He might be a setup by Eobard Thawne or some random speedster villain that is using Eddie to throw off Team Flash and Barry. And then here comes the big bad, probably Matt Thawne, and he's back as Reverse Flash. That would be my number one assumption as to how that story would play out if they're going down this route for Red Death. That's the only way I can see it playing out if they go down the route thinking they're going down. Which is Red Death in 2 episodes mainly. 903, 902 shall be in a few scenes, but that's it. To me, probably the Rogues, and then everything else, obviously. So, I really hope that's not the case, because I want a lot of Red Death. We haven't gotten a lot of her. I don't think we're going to get a lot of her in 902. So, I really do hope 903, 904, and 905 all have, like, a really big Red Death essence in the episodes. And I truly do hope that it all does work out the way Eric Wallace wants it to, in the way that it should all work out. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching the video. Have a good day, have a good night, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.